How are you doing, guys? Jay, the boxing fan here, back with another video. My reaction to last night's boxing action. We'll start over in Las Vegas with Canelo retaining his undisputed super middleweight championships with a unanimous points decision win against Joe Maldi, Ironman Charlo. We said in the build-up it would be difficult for Charlo to win the fight on points. Fair play to him, he did get to hear the final bell. I thought his defence was good. He absorbed more shots than I was expecting, and when Canelo did push him back, he made sure he was sort of firing back. He wasn't sort of letting Canelo tee off on him, constantly moving, trying to use his footwork. But again, it was the case of him being able to strike that balance really between the defensive action and being offensive enough of his own. We didn't quite see that really. The fight never seemed to quite really sort of take off. Obviously, I think there was a couple of rounds 4 and 5, where you saw Charlo started to sort of double up the jab and try to be a bit more offensive. Didn't get much of a reaction from Canelo, and I think that was probably from there on he sort of went more on the defensive. Canelo had him down in I think the 8th or the 9th, and actually towards the end of the fight it was Canelo who was still pressuring him on the front foot, as he does, and actually had his guard down towards the end of the fight just to sort of demonstrate the relative ease with which he won the fight. So quite an easy night's work. Couldn't tell you what happened in round 3 sadly, because DAZN cut my streaming service. Don't know if anyone else experienced that, so that was a bit annoying from DAZN. So yeah, and at the end of the fight, obviously Charlo talking about moving back down to 154. He'd gone up there, he did great, so he says, picked up his money. Now he tried to go back down to light middle, and there'll be fights for him down there. I think he talks about Terence Crawford at 157, so it remains to be seen. Speaking of easy night's work, not much of an easy night's work then. How good was Opetaia in that fight in London against Jordan Thompson? Just incredible really. I thought we looked at the two of them as they sort of got into the ring, and the height difference between them, there's about 4 or 5 inches in stature, and I thought, you know, I couldn't quite see how Opetaia was going to be able to get in range, you know, easily. But the ease with which he did so, you know, right from the start, using his incredible footwork, sort of constantly moving, jumping into range, landing that straight left with pinpoint accuracy. And Jordan Thompson had no answer to it really. I felt sorry for him in a way. It was obviously a jumping class. I thought he probably could have actually been pulled out in the 3rd. He took a lot of punishment in the 3rd. Fair play to him, really brave, went out again and didn't quit. He stayed in there for another round in the 4th, but just had no answer really. You know, I'd like to have seen him try and fire the jab. I think he was sort of tentatively pouring a jab in the 1st round. I'd like to sort of see him try and impose that jab a bit more in the fight, but easy for me to say. I mean, when he's got a straight left coming at his chin that he can't really, you know, has no answer for. I think it's it's easy to say really. So obviously disappointing night for him, but Jai Opetaia showing how good he really is. We didn't quite know, obviously we knew he beat Bradis, but this is his first title defence, so and we, you know, Jordan Thompson was unbeaten, so questions to be asked, and Jai Opetaia answered those questions in emphatic fashion. A couple of under fight cards that stood out for me. I thought the fight between Jeff Clark and Duca was a good fight. Duca was brave as they come. Took so many shots in that fight and stayed in there till the end. So good 10 rounds for the cruiserweight prospect Jeff Clark, and a good fight I enjoyed over on the Las Vegas card that stood out, Usyk versus Barrios. That was an absolute war. Really interesting fight. I think both landed and had success at various stages. Went the 12 rounds, and Barrios won that one, I think by split decision. Could have been unanimous actually. I think it might have been unanimous, but so yeah, and I haven't seen this. I know there were wins over on that boxer card, which I haven't seen, for Calan Dubois and the cruiserweight prospect Vidal Riley. So I haven't been able to catch up on those, but hoping to do so. So good night's boxing. I hope you enjoyed, and you can catch me my next video, I'll be discussing the upcoming fight next weekend, a featherweight title fight, WBA champion Lee Wood versus the former champion Josh Warrington. Quite an intriguing fight, looking forward to that one. One thing that has annoyed me a bit this week is the fact that we've seen so many people coming out and writing off Joe Joyce. I find that is something that annoys me in boxing. All these journalists and even ex-professionals who have decided to retire Joe Joyce off the back of those back-to-back defeats with Zhilei Zhang. I don't quite understand in boxing why we're so quick to write off boxers when they have a loss. Joe Joyce, I find it quite disrespectful, the fact that he's, incredible amateur career, fought them all, Usyk, AJ, Hrgovic, and up until those fights with Zhang, let's be honest, he'd had a good run, unbeaten, fought Parker, Hammer, Takam, Dubois, and all of a sudden he gets floored by a 20-stone southpaw, and it's the end of his career. All right, I appreciate he's not young in age, but he's younger than Zhang, and I still believe you could put Joe Joyce in with most orthodox heavyweights ranked in the top 10, and Joe Joyce you give every chance. So something annoying. We want to see the big fights be made. We don't want to see fighters ducking these fights and taking money or taking the remuneration or taking other routes. And I think one thing that we would help these fights get made is if we didn't sort of write them off every time they went in and got beat. That's my little rant on that. But there we are, on a more positive, and don't get me started on Ben Shalom on TalkSport. We don't even saw that interview. Ben Shalom talking about drugs in boxing, raised a few eyebrows, and that's all I'm going to say. I think I've covered that subject enough in recent times. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. On a more positive note, we have heard the news that apparently the fight, the undisputed heavyweight fight that we've all been waiting for, Tyson Fury against Alexander Usyk, is now been signed, and hope we might see that before the end of the year or in the early stages of next year. It's a fight that we've all been looking forward to. Personally, I've always fancied Usyk in that one, and it's something we'll come and cover off before that fight gets made in another video. Although I must admit, I've sort of come around in more recent times to sort of changing my opinion. Now they do say obviously a very good big man or should be a very good little man. They're obviously both very good elite fighters, 1 and 2 in the division, but we shall see, and obviously we'll get some more reaction and opinion on that before the fight comes around. That's it from me, guys. Thanks for listening. I'll catch you on the next one.